Can you tell me which company most violates your privacy? Google? Facebook? Maybe Microsoft? Yes, these companies violate your privacy, but they are not the worst. Firstly, you know who they are and can minimize how much data they collect by not using their services or even prevent them from collecting any data. There is one company, however, that has not only more data than all of these companies, but you also can't get rid of them, and that company is Oracle. Although Oracle is a classic among techies, most people outside tech circles have never heard of them. It is quite surprising given that Oracle has a market cap of over $200 billion and is the 38th largest company in the world. And Oracle's founder, Larry Ellison, is the 7th richest person in the world, with a net worth of just over $90 billion. Oracle is not only massive and rich, but they are also incredibly powerful. For some time now, SAP has dominated the enterprise solutions market. SAP only has one competitor, and that's Oracle. More than 98% of global Fortune 500 companies use Oracle, and Oracle has over 430,000 customers around the world, all of which are businesses with more than $10 million in revenue. Moreover, they offer more than just enterprise solutions. As a matter of fact, they own a lot of random tech products and IP. In fact, Oracle owns Java and went so far as to sue Google for a quote it claimed was plagiarized. They even tried to purchase TikTok in 2021. They even attempted to buy Apple's entire company on multiple occasions back in 1997. As a result, it shouldn't surprise you to learn that Oracle has a total of 5 billion end users. This is more than any other FAANG company. Even Google has only 4.3 billion users. Probably the only consumer brands like Nestle and Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson have a larger customer base. However, these aren't tech companies. As a result, they don't have a lot of data on you like Oracle does. A couple of years ago, Larry Ellison made a presentation outlining his intentions to control the entire population, blatantly obvious. His quote said, "How many people are on Earth? 7 billion. 2 billion to go." A lot of people believe SAP isn't all that powerful since it just sells software to companies, but that's because SAP doesn't do anything unethical with it. Oracle is an excellent example of what they could do. Oracle was sued a few months ago for allegedly collecting, profiling, and selling the data of 5 billion users. Here's how Oracle became the most discreet giant within the tech world. When we look back on Oracle's history, we see that it was started in 1977 by 3 men named Bob Miner, Ed Oates, and Larry Ellison. Initially, the company developed database software. In fact, the company was originally called Software Development Laboratories. The company was sparked by a research paper by Edgar F. Codd that described the complexities of relational database management systems. Ellison's initial goal was to create a piece of software compatible with IBM's System-R database. Unlike Xerox, however, the people at IBM weren't absolute idiots who just handed out their intellectual property like candy. Therefore, the trio would have an extremely difficult time attempting to troubleshoot error codes. They eventually turned their focus to an easier target: the government. The US government has a policy that gives everyone an equal chance to win government contracts. The contracts are posted publicly, and virtually any US citizen can bid on them. The trio would do exactly this and somehow landed a contract with the CIA to build a database. Oracle was the project's name, which would ultimately become the company's name. With a project under their belt, the team began to work on the first commercial relational database program based on SQL. This program was eventually deployed at an Air Force base in Dayton, Ohio. Interesting fact, Oracle's first commercial product was actually called Oracle V2. They figured that fewer people would buy a V1 product, so they called it V2. This, along with their service to the CIA, seems to have earned them quite a good reputation. Aside from that, it's not like there were many other options anyway, so Oracle became the database software of choice for more and more companies. Originally, this was Oracle's bread and butter. Year after year, they just kept improving on their database software, coming out with Oracle V3, V4, V5, V6, V7, and so forth. It was quite lucrative given that tech companies were rapidly growing and basically all of them needed database software, which they didn't want to develop themselves. By 1989, they reached annual revenues of over $500 million. But that was just the beginning for Oracle. Throughout the 1990s, they would try to grow their business and break away from databases, but this didn't work out all that well. For example, in 1995, they tried to enter the internet market by releasing a browser called Power Browser. Furthermore, in 1997, they tried entering the computer market by launching something called the network computer. The network computer was actually a fantastic idea. The idea was to eliminate much of the components inside of a computer by having it run off servers, networks, and databases similar to a Chromebook. But Oracle soon found out that the public just wasn't ready for this product. While these products didn't pan out, Oracle's core business was still expanding rapidly, and soon they actually found a promising expansion opportunity. Although Oracle couldn't break into those new markets, it could buy companies that were already successful. And fortunately for Oracle, they would get the chance of a lifetime with the dot-com crash. While Oracle's stock also got crushed by the dot-com crash, the same could not be said about Oracle's core business. As a result, their business was strong, which gave them the perfect opportunity to purchase everyone else at record low prices, and that's exactly what they did. Rather than go through Oracle's entire acquisition history, we'll just focus on their 5 biggest acquisitions, starting with PeopleSoft in 2005. PeopleSoft was an ERP or Enterprise Resource Planning company that developed software for common business tasks. There were 5 main pieces of software in their product line, including a human resource management system, a financial management solution, supply chain management, customer relationship management, and enterprise performance management. These products do just what they sound like. The supply chain management software, for example, helps companies keep track of demand, supply, inventory, procurement, order management, and so on. Likewise, the human resource system helps companies keep track of new hires, employee turnover, vacation hours, payroll, benefits, and so on. It's easy to see why this software would become useful to every company. Following this acquisition, Oracle would acquire Siebel Systems. Siebel was also an enterprise software company, but they didn't sell ERP software. Instead, they sold a different branch of enterprise software called CRM applications, or Customer Relationship Management applications. Marketing and customer service efforts can be managed and coordinated with this software. As we move on to Oracle's 3rd major acquisition, we have yet another enterprise solutions company called BEA Systems. BEA Systems focused on offering a suite of business process management tools with an in-depth focus on e-commerce. As a matter of fact, they even called themselves the e-commerce transactions company, as they specialized in creating software and servers that allowed for high-volume e-commerce transactions. We then have Oracle's most famous acquisition of all time, Sun Microsystems. Unlike the other companies, Sun did not focus exclusively on a single product. A massive tech conglomerate, they developed software and sold hardware. Their inventions, however, are perhaps the most interesting aspect of Sun. They were the ones who created the Java programming language, the Solaris operating system, ZFS, NFS, and Spark microprocessors. They also made substantial contributions to Unix, RISC processors, thin client computing, and virtualized computing. As a result, this acquisition gave Oracle access to a tremendous amount of IP. Thus, we come to Oracle's last major acquisition, which was NetSuite in 2016. As a result, NetSuite completed Oracle's enterprise suite by giving them the key to the last piece that they were missing: the cloud. NetSuite excelled at cloud-based enterprise software, cloud computing, and cloud ERP. And all of these purchases bring us to where we are today. You may be wondering what Oracle sells, but the answer is almost everything a company needs to run on the back end. They began with just database software and have since acquired virtually every major enterprise solutions company except SAP. As a result, they offer all of these services today. As this Quora user put it, it would take a very dedicated effort for a large organization like a Fortune 500 to not be running Oracle somewhere. Therefore, Oracle has access to the data of 5 billion people. But what exactly do they collect? To begin with, Oracle allegedly collects personal information through cookies, tracking pixels, device identification, and cross-device tracking. This includes users' names, home and work address, email address, and phone numbers. The second subset of information consists of behavioral data. The information includes the websites that users view, online and offline purchases, where they shop, as well as the payment method they use. Lastly, there is a subset of information that is even more personal, because it includes things like income, political views, and hobbies. Worse still, it is virtually impossible to avoid them. It's common for people to complain about large corporations, but their use of Oracle is inevitable. Oracle has become an unstoppable back-end giant that's credible, has scale, is reliable, and has everything you could possibly need. As a result, Oracle isn't going anywhere anytime soon. As a matter of fact, their power is only increasing. As Ellison said, only 2 billion people to go. But what about the class action lawsuit? That should be able to deal some injury to Oracle, right? Well, probably not. Even if Oracle is found guilty, it's not like a fine would really change their ways or stop them. Even if Oracle was fined $10 billion, it would set them back 1 year at most. So like with Google or Facebook, we simply must deal with it. Fortunately, Oracle does make our modern tech-based world possible. But with that being said, it's probably still uneasy for an individual company to have so much power, control, and influence. Did you have any idea how much power Oracle has? Comment that down below. Drop a like if you were able to understand Oracle's business better after watching this video.